Thank you very much. Crime is surging in cities across the country, including New York City. And now that Governor Cuomo has resigned, many are looking to the new New York City mayoral race, hoping for new blood to run the city and bring New York back. Joining us now to discuss is former NYPD Commissioner Howard Safir. Good to see you, sir. Thanks so much for coming on. I want to ask you, a lot has changed, or a lot is changing in the state of New York and soon the city of New York. The New York governor, the former lieutenant governor of New York, once lobbied for guns. Then when Cuomo hired, reportedly she lobbied for gun control. We're talking about Lieutenant Governor Kathy Hochul. What are your thoughts on Lieutenant Governor Kathy Hochul and her stepping up in Cuomo's spot?
I think she's going to be a breath of fresh air. The fact is she's much more to the center. She's much more of a pragmatist. Her husband was a prosecutor in Rochester. So I think, I'm optimistic that she's going to be pro-law enforcement.
What are some of the changes that she would need to make? Obviously, bail reform is one of the issues that Republicans bring up within the state. What are some of the things that you hope to see from the lieutenant governor for her to step up and spearhead, if you will, as far as crime goes?
I think, number one, she has to get off this crazy rhetoric about defunding police. She needs to support police. She needs to support funding for police. She also needs to talk about this, as you said, this crazy bail law, which puts convicted felons back on the street to do exactly the same thing that they did before. So, it's very important that she create a pro-law enforcement stance and send the message that she supports police both in the city and in the state and in all of the cities in New York State.
Yeah, I was just going to say that New York is much bigger than just New York City itself. Despite that, we have seen crime spikes in New York City. The governor will have to work with the mayor of New York City, as we've seen kind of a combative relationship, if you will, no love lost, if you will, between Governor Cuomo and Mayor Bill de Blasio. The lieutenant governor, though, how do you see her working with a potential new mayor coming into New York City, whether it be Eric Adams, who has a background in policing, or Curtis Sliwa?
Well, I know them both, and both of them are very pro-law enforcement. Eric Adams was a police captain. He knows how to reduce crime. Curtis Sliwa has dedicated his life to protecting citizens of New York City through his guardian angels. So the fact is that this is going to be a very positive thing. The best thing beyond Governor Cuomo leaving would be Mayor de Blasio leaving and being replaced by Eric Adams or Curtis Sliwa.
There's talk of Mayor Bill de Blasio wanting to potentially run. These are just reports to potentially run for governor of New York. Your thoughts on that? Would he even stand a chance?
I don't think he stands a chance, and I think that's great because he has basically turned New York City into the bad old days. Crime is up, homicides are up, disorder is up, and police officers are being disrespected. We need somebody who is going to bring respect back to the police and bring tactics back to the police. We're talking about things broken. Broken windows is what needs to come back. Stop and frisk is not a dirty word. It's a tactic, and it needs to be used to prevent crime. The only people who should be afraid of police in New York are criminals. And right now, criminals are emboldened, both in New York and Chicago. The tragedy of the killing of police officer Ella French the other day just emphasizes that we've had 138 police officers killed in the line of duty this year, and that's ridiculous.
A big portion of the NYPD budget was cut during the defund the police movement, something that you touched on. That was done by Mayor Bill de Blasio with immediacy. Sliced right through it, obviously getting rid of the plainclothes unit that would have existed within the city of New York. Does that need to be brought back, and why?
Oh, absolutely. The undercover plainclothes unit was responsible for taking most of the guns off the street and taking drugs off the street and sending a message to felons that if you carry a gun on the street, you have a certainty of arrest. So that reduces violence as well. We need to go back to using police officers to find criminals before they commit crimes. Because once a crime is committed, that's a failure. And we have too many failures going on in New York City right now.
All right, I'll leave it right there. Howard Safir, former NYPD Commissioner, joining us live to talk safety and crime within America's largest city. I appreciate it, Howard. Good to see you.
Good to be with you.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, we're real news for real people.